In this series of the BCA Club School of the Month, we venture to the men in Queen's Park, the Spartan Cricket Club, a club that has produced many great cricketers. Come and join us. This is we. Good morning. We are very happy to join the stalwarts at the Spartan Cricket Club here in the parish of St. Michael. To my immediate right is Mr. Richard Lord. To my immediate left is Mr. Clayton Johnson. My name is Stephen Leslie, and we are continuing the series of the BCA Club School of the Month feature. And today we are at one of the most prestigious clubs in Barbados. One of the long-standing stalwarts at the club, Mr. Vincent Bullen. Vincent, how are you doing today?
Good evening, Stephen. I'm trying to hold it like everybody in these testing time.
Now, Mr. Johnson, I was doing a little bit of research, and I remember hearing that you were a person who not just served as captain, but you served for over a decade. Tell me a little bit about how it was captain of Spartan back in those days.
Well, it really was a pleasure captaining Spartan. And having gone for 16 consecutive seasons, I was really honored to captain, well, in actual fact, over 100 men.
Wow.
Some of them being former Barbados and West Indies players.
Have there been any exciting young captains? I know Philo Wallace would have been captain at one point. You had young Kerry Lucas, Ronnie Griffith, Dexter Top, and many others. Have there been any one of those guys that maybe that you would have said would have been really a shrewd tactician in the days that they were captain of the team?
Yes, Stephen. Livingston Pottery, he was an outstanding captain at club level. Never get the opportunity to captain Barbados. And also, Jabbar Niles. Jabbar Niles is a spectacular and strong club captain. I don't think he ever get a cap for Barbados, but to me, he's one of those players that, one of the captains that never captained Barbados, that was a great club captain.
To start right there, because for me, I know managing personalities in the dressing room, particularly if guys go to national or international level. How did you manage that whole process over that 16-year period?
Okay, I grew into the actual captaincy over time, but what I can tell you, although I captained so many former players, including the likes of the late David Holford, who I started playing Division I cricket under, like Alvin Greenidge and Tony Howard, that lot.
Right.
Not once did either one of them question what I did on the field or even interfered before I did on the field. Richard Lord here, he was also a member of my team, and he can tell you there was one captain on the field that he went over there.
Things have changed over the years, you know. Spartan had the reputation of being what you call it, upper class club, and that certain people could not join the club because of, I would say, class. Barbados was a class place, and those who, in fact, that's why perhaps Spartan was formed, because those fellas who were the upper class and they could not even go into wonders north of it. So I believe that's why this club was formed, for the black people, black upper class people.
Well, that's wonderful news, because I know that this club was formed and it was seen then as a breakaway from the white clubs that were formed before, which are Wanderers and Pickwick. And you've got Spartan that came, and you have a natural gravitation from the Harrison College School into the Spartan Club, and you would have probably seen that over the years. But for what you do recount, the late David Holford, can you tell me a little bit about him and how he actually operated well, alive, and well?
What I can tell you, saying that we're talking about Mr. Holford, he didn't say much, but you didn't want the look from Mr. Holford if you did something wrong on the field.
Mr. Holford was a Spartan icon in its fullest. Mr. Holford told me that he come to Queen's Park for 40 years now, stop every evening from the time he left Harrison College.
Right?
Well, I can tell you one of the things about the late Holford, who passed away regrettably a couple of days ago. I know that he was a master administrator. How did he actually interact with you on a personal level?
One-on-one, we got along very well. I started my cricketing career at Spartan in 1973, and he was my Division I captain. And over time, well, things evolved because he became president. I eventually became president so we would have had interaction. I started under him, and he finished his career under my leadership.
You think about Mr. Hoover did not believe in discipline or mediocrity. He loves you to perform to your maximum and give the due respect wherever it's due to anyone, spectators, umpires, players, and the opposing team.
Yeah, we got along well. We got along well. He wasn't a difficult person to get along with. Of course, you knew what you stood for from the beginning, and so we got along well, both on the field and off the field.
Well, Richard, one of the things that I find very interesting about what Clayton would have said is the respect. I mean, this club was established back in 1893, the third oldest club in Barbados. If you look at the history, Wanderers being the oldest club, predominantly seen as a white club. That was followed by the Pickwick Club in 1884, again predominantly seen as a white club. Your experience with Spartan, obviously you've been here for many years. How have you found the whole transition, having been established since 1893?
Well, I was here since 1966. I left from mayor and I came over here, as I said, in 1966. But as I say, things have changed, and now the club is open to anybody, really.
I want you to recount one of your funniest moments on the field of play, whether it would have been in one of those games or even if it was in a club game at the famous round like Spartan.
Yeah, one of my most famous matches was in Guyana at the Albion Sports Ground. You know, Guyana is a lovely place to cricket over the Berbice River. And one day I was doing a match there, Guyana versus the Leeward Islands. And player was stopped with you being for snakes.
I remember we were playing against Police. George Reed was batting. Holford,
He died here the other day too.
looked at me, and made the signal to me like, okay, good, you're in position. The very next ball, George B, bam, gone for the big shot. The crowd behind me, a man said, man, go in and catch the ball. So I took a couple steps in. And when I looked, the ball passed over my head. When it went then for 6, the man looked at me and said, man, you are real, man. You know you want to cut off.
I love that. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for giving us some of your time to talk about the rich club in Spartan.
Yeah.
My name is Stephen Leslie, and we are in the series of the BCA Club School Feature of the Month. And we today were with the Spartan Cricket Club.